On this edition of Bituminous Coal, it's all about the Pere Marquette CSX's Heritage Unit, painted in the livery of the Pere Marquette CSX 1899. This was caught on 3 different occasions, one of which was caught with my buddy Craig Bell, and this is his first appearance overtly. There were a couple of videos where he's shooting trains and he's there, or his voice is caught, but this one really features him. And we have a little conversation that's sprinkled in among the videos here. So Craig Bell, if you don't know, a legendary musician, played in Cleveland bands that were the proto-punk rock and roll type Mirrors, but most notably Rocket from the Tombs, which was a predecessor to both Pere Ubu and the Dead Boys. And then Craig went on musically to continue that career in Connecticut, all while being a career railroader. So we have those things in common. You see my bass guitar behind me, and there's my my Les Epi. Anyway, so yeah, a lot of fun with Craig. And we've been on trips together to Horseshoe Curve and Gallitzin to the Tunnel Inn and whatnot. But here he is. So we'll introduce Craig Bell on Bituminous Coal. Hey, this is Craig Bell.
Hi.
So
why am I here?
Why are you here? Well, we had a great time going out to Yorktown, Indiana, to chase the Pere Marquette. And for me, that was the big fish that kept getting away. I finally got it.
I think, didn't our quest start the day that I called you? I was driving down Massachusetts Avenue, and the Pere Marquette came past me going the other direction, and I swung around down by 30th Street and tried to get back out west to catch up to it, and just couldn't do it. You think you can drive faster than a train can go, but you get shown pretty quickly that they are unimpeded in their movements. It doesn't matter how fast they're going, and you're always behind a school bus.
Yeah, right. Now there's a stoplight or whatever. I mean,
whatever.
Certainly, I found that out with the chase of the Clinchfield, trying to get through Muncie and trying to get through Anderson. And so, Craig, you and I met, I want to say 2012 or 13, somewhere in there.
Really?
Yeah, it was somewhere in there. You know what it was? It was after...
Slightly longer than that, but go ahead.
Maybe, but you'll be able to pinpoint this better than I can. It was when the Down Five played that benefit show for Norton Records.
Oh, yes. Actually, I have a flyer.
Or maybe
for that.
Deason played it.
Yes, Deason played it. That's right. In fact, it was organized by Dan.
Reverend Dan.
When Norton Records had the Hurricane Sandy wiped out their apartment and warehouse.
The flood.
Dan immediately said, we got to do something to help them out. And we got that show together. That was a great show.
It was.
Cheetah and...
Cheetah Chrome from the Dead Boys.
And Gary Saperko from Rocket from the Tombs. And legendary Shack Shakers and stuff like that. Yeah.
So it was there that I met you, and then we got together and had lunch, and we started trading notes. Like, oh, he's a foamer too.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, we've got rock and roll, and we've got railroads.
What more can you ask for?
What more could a guy ask for? So
let's talk about trains.
Let's talk about trains.
Let's go to the trains.
Yeah. What a good idea. To the trains. Well, we found this location by and by, and wow, it was really cool. I mean, and the light this day was just perfect. Absolutely perfect. I love a sweeping curve like this where you can see the train coming from a great distance. Couldn't resist zooming way out and watching it arrive. Like so many CSX manifest trains, there are some intermodal cars at the beginning, and then it soon enough looks like a manifest train of mixed freight. M332 runs daily between Avon, the Avon Yard, former New York Central Yard, and Cumberland, Maryland. I must say, I do enjoy seeing a cut of cars like these, relatively free of graffiti. Looks great. Haha, now that was a nice catch. At Yorktown, Indiana, of the Pere Marquette CSX 1899, along with CSX 7018 on the lead and 4553. But those two aren't on the checklist. 1899 is, and we get to fill it in. Checklist number 3 for CSX on by 2 minutes coal, and it's the first entry. Let's drop that lump of coal right about there. We decided we were going to go out east. We knew that the Pere Marquette was heading east on the Indianapolis line, or the B line, the old Big Four.
Yeah.
And we wanted to get out ahead of it so we could catch that darn Pere Marquette. But there were other trains that came before it. And what I remember was, when we were going out, we were aware of a train already on the line, and we went to get ahead of it. And went to Yorktown. I was insisting, well, we got to go past... What do you think now? Get my directions. No, I wanted to be in a zone where I could fly the drone.
Right.
And so, Anderson and Muncie, I can't fly the drone. So, so I really was like, Yorktown is as far out as we can get to give ourselves some time, but then it's not into those no-fly zones. And I thought we would end up in town. And when we looked at those places, we went to a couple of grade crossings, and it was like,
yeah, there was really no good sight lines or anything
no,
like that there.
No.
And, I mean, if you got up in the air, I'm sure you could see something.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But on the ground,
it was not.
Pretty dull.
It was. So you suggested, well, let's go a little further. Okay, so we get going a little further, and sure enough, that location was perfect.
That was a lovely location. It has you'll see that there's a nice gentle curve as the train's coming east. Mm-hmm. And kind of a farm setting, sort of light county kind of industry setting there, so it was a nice wide open shot. And I think it's a shot that in the future might be seeing more of, as I think it gives a really good look at like the approach and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. The curve is great if you can catch different parts of the train and have a look at it down
Yeah.
the long end of the curve.
Yep.
Yeah, but also it was a great place to park because it's completely off the road. There's this wide driveway that the railroad uses, but also the locals use it. And it looked like there was a man running his business out of his backyard or what have you, and he's using that drive. So there's a lot of space, enough that I could pull over and not be in his way. If the railroad came through, I'm not in their way.
Right, and plus there was multiple places without trespassing that you could set up
Exactly.
to get camera angles and places
Yeah.
to shoot. So
Yeah.
that was good too.
So yeah, in that regard, it had it all. You know, I mean that made a nice package. So yeah, so we shot 3 trains there, and a third of which was the Pere Marquette. But it's the Pere
Yes.
Marquette I'm going to show you first.
that was the main event. That was
Yeah.
what we were out there for.
All right, so now I've got a presentation decision to make, which is, do I continue showing you the other 2 CSX trains that we caught at Yorktown on that date, or do I show you the other 2 instances with the Pere Marquette? Well, I think I'm going to go with the Pere Marquette. So we're going to change dates, but we're going to show you everything that was caught on those days, but we're going to sequentially, we're going to line this up by showing you all the Pere Marquette stuff first, and then circle back and catch the other trains that were caught on those dates. Make sense? Whew, I hope so. I don't want to try that again. Hey, look, pulling up in Fortville. Yay, Fortville. Hey, look, a train. Arriving just in time to not really catch it. Perfect. Oh, and it's the Pere Marquette. The Pere Marquette with a BNSF unit. This must be M331. Well, isn't that typical? Typical. Ah. Nice manifest. Boxes, tanks, hoppers. Well, at least I caught the Pere Marquette earlier in the week. Wow, look at those hoppers. Untouched by graffiti. Well, that one is. Oh, and a helper on the back. Ah, what a nice train to kind of sort of catch. Well, there's a right laugh in rail fanning. Oh, man, I posted that one to the socials, and my rail fanning buddies really had a good laugh at my expense. And why not? It was pretty funny. Now, the next catch is also in Fortville. Just 3 days later, the Pere Marquette had been traversing back and forth on the B line, the Indianapolis line, through Fortville. And here yet again, 3 days later, in the snow this time. Let's check it. Well. All right, we've got a train coming, and I might have my revenge on the Pere Marquette, which I missed here just a couple of days ago. The Pere Marquette. Well, let's get in frame. Let's see how it goes, huh? Oh, it looks good in that snow and that blue sky behind it. Everything looks better in this setting. Love it. Well, M364, that's eastbound, and that is also a daily manifest train. Runs between Avon Yard also and Selkirk in New York. And it gets there by way of Cleveland or Buffalo. If not mistaken, it works Collinwood Yard and the yard at Buffalo in between. Sometimes you know it's a long train because having heard the detectors sound off with an axle count in the 500s or even 600s, you know you've got a beast. But failing that, seeing that mid-unit DPU tells you you've got a fair number of cars still to come. Pere Marquette, I caught you. And so, here's something I really like about Indiana. The first video I shot today, overcast, gray, completely blanketed, gray sky, clouds, driving snow, swirling around. And by afternoon, when the Pere Marquette comes round, it's a totally blue sky. It's a blue sky and clear and sunny, and the snow is already melting. Of course, when I was a kid, my dad would have said, "All right, go rake the leaves." And I'd say, "Well, Dad, the snow. The leaves are in the snow. Gotta rake the leaves." Yeah, I love it. I love winters away from the Great Lakes, where I grew up, Cleveland. Because that gray cloud cover just stay there. It never went away until like April. It started in November, and it was there until April. Cloud cover. That was depressing. And I didn't even know it because it was, normal. Anyhow, I caught you, Pere Marquette. I caught you. And now we'll circle back to Yorktown for the other two CSX freights that Craig and I caught on that day as we saw the Pere Marquette the first time. And there's Hotshot I-008, priority intermodal train. We always, in Indiana, we talk about it coming from Avon, but in fact, it's coming from Rose Lake, Illinois, and gets to work Avon and then up and running again, and to Syracuse, New York at the DeWitt Yard. And it's an almost daily, Tuesday through Sunday. No I-008 on Mondays. Well, not only was this a great spot for Craig and I to shoot trains in general, it was a great spot to be because the trains just kept coming. One after the other. Perfect. This intermodal train, not quite the high priority as 008, but this is I-131. It's a westbound. Odd numbers equal west, even numbers equal east. And it's part of a daily pair, 131 and 132, both between Salem, Illinois at Union Pacific and Detroit. Well, those two trains, plus the Pere Marquette, wrapped up our viewing in Yorktown and our rail fanning there. You know, we were only there about an hour, hour and a half, and we caught those three trains in that time, which was fantastic. And so we packed it up and we went to lunch. We went to Anderson and had some tasty burgers at the Lemon Drop. Now, that was a good place. Another story for another time. Let's go to some more trains. Let's go back to Fortville and see the other trains that were caught on the same day as the Pere Marquette's catches and kind of sort of catches. Well, having filled you in on the nature of the daily M364, all I'll give you here is just a little excitement about these Wisconsin Central boxcars. This train and the one coming up after it both have them. And I've been surprised lately. I've been seeing Wisconsin Central boxes floating around, both on the Indiana Railroad and here on CSX. Amazing. Yeah, there it is. It's really incredible to think about. I mean, the Wisconsin Central was merged into Canadian National 2001. So 25, going on 26 years here since they've ceased to be. The boxcars have, 50 years of life, so not entirely surprising, but the boxcar is on the wane in general. Just really fun to see it. And there's our last Wisconsin Central boxcar on this train. Reporting marks SNC buried in the graffiti there. I looked it up and it said something about a carrier in New Zealand, car owner in New Zealand. Well, that's news to me. I don't know. If you all know, let me know in the comments. I appreciate it. And things do change. That yellow nose 2. Some of the last CSX locomotives with gray paint on them. Fewer and fewer in service all the time. Just like that Wisconsin Central boxcar or 2, or the ones that are coming up here in a second. This is Manifest Train 313, a daily also. It runs between Parsons Yard in Columbus, Ohio, and the Avon Yard, as so many do. But from the trains I've shown you here in this arrangement, gives you an idea of how many trains do pass on this line on a daily basis, or near enough to warrant going to Fortville regularly to catch action. With that many daily trains, you're going to get some action. That's good stuff. Well, that string of 5 Wisconsin Central boxcars, all labeled SNC as their reporting marks. So I'm stumped. I'm going to need me a Google search or a Chat GPT. Whatever it is the kids are doing. And now in the snow, CSX Manifest Train 332 heading eastbound. And that's a pair. There's a matched pair, 331 and 332. We saw 331 earlier. 331 from Cumberland to Avon, and 332 is the return, Avon to Cumberland. And that is a daily train. And sometimes what's neat about those is if a heritage unit comes in, for instance, on 331 to Avon, it will often be sent back the next day on 332. So we keep our eyes open for stuff like that. There's a number of matched pairs, 007 and 008. Same thing. If 007 comes into Avon with a heritage unit, it may return very well the next morning on 008. So we keep our eye on the matched pairs, and we keep our eye on the snow. This was coming down pretty heavily, and I risked the drone flight. Sorry about the drone propeller noise, but this one came upon me very quickly. Well, on a day like this, those green Incobrasa hoppers really jump out. And with the snow on top of the tankers, I think those green hoppers show up better than the black tankers. And these gray hoppers may as well be camouflage. Well, there you have it. An exciting pursuit of the Pere Marquette unit and catching it and presenting it here, and all the other great things that happen on those days where the pursuits took place. Love to see those fallen flags. They got all kinds of weather over those 3 days. A little bit of sun, a little bit of overcast gray sky, and then just snow. Happy to introduce Craig Bell to y'all. Go check out his music, first of all. I mean, if you like rock and roll, you've got to check out Mirrors, Rocket from the Tombs, or his bands that came later, like Saucers, the Downfi, and his current band, Craig Bell and the Dead Man's Handle, still playing live. You can see him in Indianapolis. We'll have future adventures, and I really look forward to sharing the picking of his brain on things with signals, because he was a signal maintainer, and it's great going out on site with him and having him explain what the things mean, because I don't know. Next time on Bituminous Coal, we're staying in Indiana, and central Indiana, so central, in fact, Indianapolis. The Avon turn of the Indianapolis Railroad. That's a daily move that they make, taking cars to Avon Yard, CSX's Avon Yard, and then bringing cars back from CSX to be distributed by the Indiana Railroad. So we caught that in a handful of locations, including right at the train shed, where the Amtrak trains enter and the station exists, the platform. Really pleased with the catches on here, and look forward to bringing that to you next time here on Bituminous Coal. Oh yeah, we will go to the trains.